Do you happen to create websites sometimes? I'm not talking about coding the next Facebook, but a boring corporate website with a CMS. Raise your hand. Okay, not too many. Well, I've been there, done that, and that's why I spent the last 4 years of my life making it less boring. And so in 2019, I started writing this article, The Shape of the CMS to Come. And if you are a jazz lover, you see the nod to The Shape of Jazz to Come, which is a great avant-garde free jazz album by Ornette Coleman. And what was this article about? It was about a problem. I wanted to move away from WordPress, and I couldn't find any CMS on the market that would make me happy. It is about the frustration of not being able to find something that was great for us as developers, and that was great also for our customers. And I wanted to find a solution to this frustration, because you see, we have a great power, we can code. But back then, I was always coding for customers, no time for side projects. And then the first lockdown in Italy came, and so I had a bit more time, and I had time to create an MVP that implemented the ideas of this article. And by the way, at the end of this article, on that too, you can still find the video of the very first MVP of React Bricks. This MVP became a product, and this product is now being used by more than 8,000 users, and it is powering the website of great corporates like Banca Mediolanum, a major Italian bank, so Deal.com, the Weather Channel, and many others. But, well, the first step in finding a solution, any solution, is to understand the problem. And so, why? Why on earth did you create another CMS? Didn't we have enough? And so, well, to answer, we need to go back in time. We need to go back to 1996, 27 years ago, when I started creating websites. I used this tool, Hot Dog Pro by Sausage Software. Who of you has used a tool like this to create HTML? Nobody. I'm happy for you. No, really. This was a very happy period of my life. I was 17 and I felt like a hacker. In a couple of years I learned HTML and JavaScript and Perl. And then during the first year of university, I learned how to set up a web server, email server, DNS. We didn't have the cloud back then, you know. And you see, my career as a web developer has led me here, while my career at university ended 3 exams before I graduated. So, if you are studying, don't do like me. Follow your dreams, but please, please finish those last 3 exams. And well, let's go back to this editor. How could my customers edit a website created in this way? Well, they sent an email. They sent an email and the website got updated. It was magic. In the middle, there was me writing code using this guy. So everything changed with the front page. Who has seen front page? Okay, Dreamweaver maybe. So, well, with front page, you had visual editing. It was a sort of porting of Word or PowerPoint for the web, and it had also an FTP client to send the files to the server. And so customers wanted to have front page installed on their computer. They said, wow, we can change the website content without waiting for Matteo. But the reality is that they always came back to me before I could say front page. Why? Because they broke things. They broke something, and they wanted me to fix it. And I didn't want to fix it, because the code created by front page was a mess. It was a real mess. So you see, visual editing, great for content editor, but not for developers. Anyway, that era came to an end, and not because front page didn't work very well, but because customers started asking for more complex websites. So product catalogs, restricted areas, e-commerce systems. And so CGI came. With CGI, you created a script running on a server that will create the HTML for you based on data on a database. So the customers could do the data entry using a beautiful gray form like this, and then the script created the HTML. You see, with this gray form, they could not break things. So this was great for us as developers, but of course the content editors lost the visual editing that they had with front page. Great for us, but not for them. So you are starting seeing a pattern here. But let's go fast forward to the real CMSs, so Joomla and then WordPress. And so imagine the blank WordPress page where you can create freely, and the customer can leverage this freedom to create something epic like this. I don't know if you can stare at this for more than 10 seconds. I could not. And so, well, the blank WordPress page is great for them, but not for us. I immediately installed advanced custom fields, beautiful plugin of WordPress to get back our beloved gray forms. All structured, all good for us. So you see, we always have these structured, sorry, it goes two at a time. Visual versus structured, freedom versus constraints, and this for us means chaos versus order. But for the editors, this means easy versus complicated. This is why we need something new today. Because I believe that you can have something which is great for us as developer and for the content editors, for an agency and its customers. In a company, I believe that we can have the marketing team and the development team working together as one team. And I saw this same exact pattern in 2019 when I was finding an alternative to WordPress. On one side, the visual tools like Wix or Webflow. On the other side, headless CMSs. And well, visual tools are great, but they are a no-go for corporate because, for example, with Wix, it's not flexible enough because we don't want to pick the website template we love. We have to implement the pixel-perfect corporate image of our customers. With Webflow, it's the opposite. It is much more complete, much more flexible. It is too flexible because when our editors understand how to tweak all of these margins and paddings, they get creative and they can break the design. And then we have them, the headless CMSs. What are headless CMSs? Gray forms. I know there's much more than this, I know, but in the eyes of content editors, headless CMSs are gray forms. But we have the visual preview, yes, I know, and you call it visual editing, but it's not. It's like writing a Word document in a sidebar and see the preview on the page after 1 second. So it's like having this strange word processor where you don't write on the content but in a sidebar and using it in a remote desktop with a poor connection. Is this what we want? Is this the apex of content management in 2023? I strongly believe not. We can do better. How? How can we do better? Well, we need to go back in time once again. This time we need to go back to when we were children. What did we use to build things when we were children? Lego bricks. Lego are the solution. How's that? Well, you see, when you play Lego bricks, you can create anything, but you cannot change the single Lego brick. So you cannot ruin the design of the atomic Lego brick. So you are using a design system to create something new, but you cannot break the design system. So what could we want more than this? Well, there is a little thing. Sometimes when you play Lego, you have this blue black Lego brick, and you will need a red one. And so it would be great to have a button on the Lego bricks to change the color. And well, currently, of course, we cannot do it with Lego bricks. But with React bricks, of course, yes, because we have the props. So this is what I envisioned 4 years ago. Lego bricks of content implemented as a React component and just React code. No need to go back and forth between your code and the headless CMS to add one field just because the editor needs to add one paragraph, and so you have to add one field, fetch one field, render one field. Adding fields to an headless CMS is not the best use of our time. And so we come to the what, the practical side. How can we turn Lego bricks into React components? Well, we have this concept of visually editable content blocks, which are React components using the React bricks library. And we call them bricks, of course. And bricks are made up of two parts. In the JSX of the React component, you can use our visually editable visual content, components, sorry, like text, rich text, image, repeater to enable the visual editing magic. And for what is not directly editable, for example, a padding or a background color, you can define sidebar control. So your component has a schema property, and in the schema property you can define sidebar controls, but it's not like Webflow where you have the full CSS spectrum. You can define only the control that you want of the type that you want with the values that you want. So in this case, I would just want my editor to change the background color, and I want the background color to be either white or yellow. These bricks must be shared between the front-end project and the admin interface. And it's not with some strange syncing mechanism, but it's just that the admin interface lives together with the front-end website. So you host the admin interface wherever you want together with the front-end website. So they both import the same bricks. And so your code stays just in your repository. React never sees your code, but the content is on the React APIs as structured JSON. How does it work? Well, in the schema of your component, you define also a block type, so that you can imagine that in our APIs, a page is an array of blocks, each with its ID, block type, and the props. So the React Bricks library can match the content coming from the database with your React components design system based on the block type. So it renders the right components, passing them the right props. But let's see it in action. So here I have a project just scaffolded with the React Bricks CLI. So it's just npx create React Bricks app at latest. This is a Next.js project, but React Bricks works with Next.js, Gatsby, and Remix. Since I'm already logged in, I can click on this pencil button to go to the editing interface. You see that on the left we have the pages, this simple and clean concept, and then I can click in the content. This with the pink border is a brick, so it is a React component. Let's add a new one. So you see that here I have all of my design system where I can pick components. Now you want to add a hero unit. Let's add this horizontal hero unit. You see that I can directly write, so welcome to React Bricks Verona. I can apply styles. For example, here I can apply highlight, and just highlight because this rich text defined that here I can apply just the highlight style. Here, for example, I can apply the bold. And for what is not directly editable, I have the sidebar props. So, for example, I can change the highlight color, or I can change the background color. But everything that you see here on the right is not fixed by the React Bricks CMS. It's defined by the component. If I add a new component, for example, let's add a customers list, you see that I have other controls here on the right. For example, I can choose if I want the logos grayscale or colored, and for the background, I have just 4 background colors. If I go to this other brick, I can choose the media side if it is left or right. When for images, when I want to replace an image, I can select from a URL, upload an image, select from a splash or from the library. In this case, let me change the image from the library. Let's go to this stock folder. You see, this image, for example, is already used in 2 pages, and we have the reference to all the uses of of the image, so I can select this, and I already have the same crop and flip for this image. So I can reuse it. Of course, I can change my crop. I can rotate the image, flip it, etc. Let's select in this way and save. And images are optimized by the React Brick servers at upload time. So all the responsive version, the blow-up versions are created at upload time, and images are served from a global CDN. So now I show you just another thing that we had also the concept of bricks inside of bricks. Let me change this text and let's say content editing should be fun for everyone. And now let's add features. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I can add just 4 because I define these in this component. And here I can write, so it's great for devs, it's great for editors, and this is a brick, so with its own prop, so I can apply, for example, pink here, and etc. So of course it's great for designers because we cannot break their designs. As we see, it's great also for the enterprise. So now let's remove the hat of the editor and let's put on the hat of the developer. Let's see how we can create these bricks in React code. So to do this, I add a very simple custom hero unit here. You see the bricks that you saw before are from React Bricks UI. They are open source pre-made content blocks that you can use to play with React Bricks. Then you will remove them all and create your own to implement your own design system or the design system of your customers. This is a very simple brick where you can just select an image. Let's select from a splash this time just to change. Let's take a lake. This one is in Italy too. I think it's Lago di Braies. So lake. Okay, you can see that I can crop just as a square, and we will discover why in 1 second. Then you have this text with no rich text features, and here instead I have many rich text features that I can apply. On the right I have just this big or small padding to change the vertical padding. Let's see the code for this brick. So first of all, this is an Next.js project. You see the admin folder that I told you it's hosted together with the website. If I go to the React Bricks configuration, I have the bricks folder where there are the React Bricks UI components and the custom components where we have our hero unit. So should be familiar with this. It's just a React component. The type is brick, not functional component, because a brick is a functional component with a schema. And we are importing the visual editing controls, visual editing components. And so you see we have an image with an aspect ratio of 1. This is why I could crop only as a square. We have a text with its render function. So you see it's very easy to migrate to React Bricks. If you have already a React-based design system, you have already your components, you have this H1, you want to make it visually editable, you just take it and you put it into a render function for a text component. For the rich text is the same, but here you can define which rich text feature you want to enable, so like headings, italic, order list, unordered list, etc. And you can override the default styling for these rich text features. For example, for the bold, I don't want the standard B tag. So you can just say render bold, and I provide my render function. I take the children. It's just a React render function. And I'm rendering a B tag, but I want to make it more visible. So let's say class name. And I apply text pink 500. By the way, you see that I'm using Tailwind here, but React Bricks is CSS agnostic. It works with any CSS framework, no CSS framework at all, CSS in JS, anything. So now if I go back here, you see that now when I apply the bold style, we have this beautiful pink. So you can really define, provide render function for anything. And for the padding property, how does it work? Well, we have to go to the schema. This is the schema property where we have the block type, which is this name. We have a function to define the default props when I add a new brick of this type. And then we have the side edit props, which is an array of all the controls that you want in the sidebar. can be an array of props or an array of collapsible groups of props. In this case, it is a simple padding of type select. You have Boolean, date, image, number, text, etc., etc. You can also define a custom component. You can say custom. In this case, I can provide my own component. It is a simple value on change interface. So if you want, for example, to have a small map on the sidebar to let the user pick latitude and longitude, you can do whatever you want. For a select type, we can display as radio, color, or select. Let's change it to radio. And then I have the options. You can also have a get options, a sync function to do more fancy things. It's very flexible. And of course, you will receive the value of that select as a property of your component, so that you can conditionally render and apply, for example, one class or another based on this value. Now, if I reload, you see that now I have this not anymore as a select, but as a radio button. So this is the very basics of React Bricks. There's much more. For example, the ability to reuse content across pages, like with entities. We use it, for example, in this starter project for the header and footer, where you can edit in a visual way also the header and the footer. By the way, we just released v4 of React Bricks a few days ago. And or for a call to action. For example, you want to reuse this call to action in different part of your website. You can just go to your page, and instead of adding a call to action brick, I add an embed, and I embed that call to action. So now when I go here and I change this call to action, great for developers and the marketing team, and I save, of course, I have this change in all the pages that are using this entity. We have the ability to get external data. So you can imagine from an e-commerce. Here I'm using the Pokemon APIs, so Pikachu, but if I want, I can change this to Dragonite. Oh, sorry, my son told me that I have to use Venonat because it has the color of React Bricks, so let me do it. Okay. He's a Pokemon fan. And so you see, you can imagine that here I am taking the product from Shopify as well, from a headless e-commerce, and so I can create the product details page of an e-commerce using React Bricks, because you can have some bricks like this that could be the add to cart. I can lock this block, so you cannot touch this. This is content from an external data source, but you can add after, and then there is a part that you can edit, and then you have another part which are the related product that I lock, and then your editor can edit below. So it's really very flexible, and you see that it's very easy to use because it's just React. Oh, let me show one thing. If we want to add a new brick, so let's create a, sorry, not here, but in the custom, a new brick.tsx. We have an extension for VS Code, so you can just say brick, and you have a new brick scaffolded for you immediately. Let's say this is a gallery, and then I want to add a rich text. We have the it's 1 second. I want to add an image. 1 second. I want to add a side-edit prop. The same. So we have this. Is really fun. It's really easy. We save time, and it's also the best use of our time, because we are not using our time adding fields to an headless CMS, but we are using our time to create a design system, which is much more fun, and we leverage our React knowledge. For the editors, it's the same. You see, if they can use Word or Pages, they can use React Bricks. They just click, they edit the text, they click on images, they change the sidebar controls, they cannot break anything, and they have a full CMS. So for example, I show you for the SEO, we have meta tag, open graph, Twitter card, the complete schema org implementation. So if you have an event like reactjsday, we can say, okay, attendance mode is online, stream URL offline, we can venue name, add a ticket, everything up to the recipe. So it's great also from a SEO point of view. In the playground, we can see all of our components, so all of our design system. And last thing that I show you is that there is also the ability to translate content. Let me add the Italian language and go here and reload. And you see I can create the Italian language. It will start from the default language, but then I can change whatever I want. So, ciao Verona. Okay, so you see also for the editors, it's very easy. They save a lot of time, and it's also the best use of their time because they don't have to learn a new tool. They use their time actually creating content. So now I'd like to share with you a bit of the journey in creating React and especially some of the challenges that we faced while building React. So what's the most difficult thing in web development after naming things and caching validation? CSS, right. Of course, CSS. Well, you see that with React you have your website, which has its own styles, and then we have our admin interface with its own styles, and then we have the content part where there are your components, and your components have their CSS. So how can we decouple these styles? Well, there is just one way, iframes. So we have two levels of iframes, and we need to bring the styles of your website inside the inner iframe, and the styles are not stable, especially with CSS in JS. So we need to sense when the styles change in your website and bring them inside the iframe, doing a sort of double buffering because we don't want to have flash of unstyled content. Another problem that we had was the bundle size, because in your components you are using our visual components like text, rich text, image, which have this beautiful visual interface, but we don't want the overhead of this visual interface to come into our front-end bundle, of course. And so here we did a low-level Barba trick to make sure that in the front end you have just very slim serializers for all of our visual components. Nothing of the visual interface will come into your front-end bundle. There is another problem with bundle size that it's still there, but in practice is not affecting current websites. But if you have many, many bricks, they will end up in your front-end code, even for pages which are not using a particular brick. And in most cases, these bricks are not interactive at all. So they are great candidates for server components. Server components are coming. We have already a project that is using React bricks with Next 13, with the app folder, and with server components. It's a UK e-commerce in the fashion sector. So they will be generally available soon. We will soon release also Next.js with app folder and server components starter with React bricks. And so, well, final note, React bricks is not yet another page builder. It is a world-class enterprise CMS. So we wanted it to be usable by startups, corporates, but also enterprises. So we built in all the features that your editors would need. So like collaboration, we didn't have time to see the real-time collaboration. You have localization, schedule publishing, a complete digital asset management system, SEO, etc. And all the features that we need as developers or that the corporate needs, like the ability to get these external data and mix it in the content, multiple environments, fine-grained permissions, approval workflow, etc. So you can enable the features that you need when you need them. So it's like having, it's like having, wait, no, it doesn't want to work. Okay, it's like having an Alfa Romeo and turning it into a Ferrari when you need it. We are Italian, by the way. So if it sounds interesting to you, please check out Bricks and let me know what you think about it. But the most important thing is, when you will check out any content management system, see what's best for you and the editors, for you and your customers, for you and the marketing team. If at least one of you is changing their mind, maybe before you were like, okay, we have headless CMSs, we have the visual preview, so the content editor should not complain. And now you're more like, okay, we are in 2023. We should give our editors a great user experience like the one that they have with Word or Pages, which are there since the 80s, right? So if at least one of you is sharing this idea, my talk would have been worth it. You will also discover that by making the life of your marketing team easier, you will also get the best developer experience for you. So today, I'm not frustrated anymore because I know that together we can change the way people edit websites, making content editing fun again. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Matteo. So I heard in the talk that if I use React Bricks, I get a Ferrari.
Yes, in the enterprise plans, yes.
Great. Any questions? This was a great presentation. Questions about inline editing, CMS, React Bricks? No? I have a question. While I ask my question, you think of questions, okay? The question is how can you so I build a project with React Bricks. How do I deploy this project? Do I deploy to Vercel, Netlify, or React Bricks? Do you have a hosting platform?
Yes. No, you can deploy. We don't host the front-end website. We just host the APIs, so you can deploy wherever you want. And I show you that in these settings, your editor will not see this app settings part, but they will have this button, deploy to staging, deploy to production. How does it work? You define deploy hooks for all the environments. So you can have deploy hook for the production environment, for the staging environment, development, etc. And you see here that, so you can provide a Netlify, Vercel, whatever hook to rebuild the website, because of course when you change content, Vercel doesn't know that you changed the content, so we call the build hook for you when you save. Yes. And there is also this trigger hook on scheduled publishing, because we have the concept of scheduled publishing. You see on the page you can have a draft and schedule in the future. So let's schedule this page for this date, and you see that now it is, you see that it is scheduled. I can see it in the editorial calendar too. Okay, and so you see when the page from draft become published, we can call the build hook for you, so that if you want to publish something on New Year's Day, you don't have to be there at midnight to click the deploy now button. You can also define on a per user base if they can deploy in production, in staging, in development, etc.
Great.
Okay.
Great. Questions? Yes, we have one over there. Let's give it up for the guy running to give the mic to everybody. That's awesome.
Hello. Just one. Is it working? Okay. Just one quick question.
What? You can just yell it out.
Yes.
Can you repeat the question just for the live stream?
Yes. We had problems with iframes and styles. Really, we created the problem ourselves because we wanted to decouple the styles of our interface from the styles of the website. So we introduced the iframe to be sure that no styles from the host project, your project, would ever modify the styles of our admin interface, and we didn't want our styles to come into your project. So we created these two levels of iframe to be sure that every environment is separated from the styling point of view. But of course, we need to render your component with your styles, and your styles are in your project. So we need to copy the styles from the host project, two levels of iframes inside, to be able to style your component exactly as you want them.
Yeah, so you actually use the iframes. My question was, do you think there are other possible solutions to this? The first one I can think of is using Shadow DOM.
The Shadow DOM, okay, well, to avoid, well, maybe this could be a solution. I don't know. We now copy the styles from both the DOM and the CSS OM for the CSS in JS libraries. As for the shadow DOM, it could be a solution either. We started using another solution which was not good, which was having everything with a very high, of course, very high specificity, but of course that didn't work. At sometimes things started not working very well. And so we came up with this solution, but there may be other solution that yes, we can think about it.
Great. You should just use important everywhere.
Yes, yes. We did something like that. In the first MVP, it was something like that.
Great. I like how everybody laughs so they know it's nonsense. If you're new to coding, don't do it. It's not important. Final question. Hands. Yes? No? Okay, I have one last question and then we can go eat lunch. The question is, how do you handle heavy composition of bricks? As in you have situations where you have bricks and bricks and bricks and bricks and bricks.
Okay, okay, yes. Well, you can have any number of nesting of bricks inside of bricks. So you can have infinite nesting of bricks inside of bricks. And for example, I can show you it with this pricing component here. We have the plans, so I can add a new plan. So I'm repeating in this way a component. But inside of this component, I can add features for this plan. And so these are bricks by themselves.
Can you put a plan inside there?
Yes, we have these. I can add plans.
No, a plan inside the plan. So like inside there.
A plan inside the plan? We could have done this, but it's not part of the design system. So we don't allow the user to do this. It's part of the good constraints that we can set with React Bricks. So how does it work in code? I show you quickly. I show you with this a component that I created for a workshop so that it is easier. You see we have a features, repeating feature item. In the features I have this repeater component that you can think this is the slot that repeats. It has a prop name so that it matches these repeater items. And I can say what is the item type. I can say also min, max, etc. So that we can define what can be repeated in a slot of a React Bricks. And you can also have multiple. There is also the concept of zones. You can also have multiple zones in a brick and repeat multiple type of bricks inside of a brick. That is more complex, but the idea is you define what is repeatable and you match it with a repeater by way of this prop name.
Great. Great. Thank you. Thank you so much. If there's no further questions, let's give a... there's one more over there. Should I run? Are you going to run? Okay, great. I hope the mic works this time. Can you keep your hand up, man, so they can... There you go. They're trolling you.
With?
Okay, so the problem...
Okay.
The question is, how does React Bricks respond to updates with major
updates? Okay, updates in React itself or updates of the library, maybe. Okay. Well, now React Bricks supports both React 17 and React 18. We always keep up to date with the latest React versions, and also we only want to update React Bricks. Now we just released v4. We try to always avoid breaking changes. So from v3 to v4, there is a very small breaking changes only for people who did something in a very particular way. But you have, if you start with v3 today and you update to v4, you will have no breaking changes. We try to always avoid any breaking change.
Great. Questions? No. Everybody's looking at this guy, and they're unhappy with this question because they're all hungry and they want to go eat lunch. I'm joking.
Oh, just one thing. After lunch, if you want to come to our booth, we have this great game where you can create a car with Lego bricks, and then we tweet about it, and the first 3 wins Lego
Ferrari.
set.
Oh.
The Ferrari there is not. There is a Ducati motorcycle, a Lego Technica, and then some Star Wars Lego sets. And so we will announce the winner at the end of the
Great.
conf.
Thank you. Let's give it up one more time. Thank you. Thank you.